Hillside football with a man that earned his respects, pulled his linebacker class of 1999, and he got a couple of good stories to tell. So, um, without further ado, well, coming in soon, I have my man, the brother of Bam Adebayo, that plays for the Miami Heat. He also has a YouTube talk show, and we're going to talk about that a little bit too. Anthony Adebayo. Most of you guys know him as Waldo. I think they called him Waldo. I don't know why. Maybe he'll get into that. Maybe he won't. But yeah, we got Anthony Adebayo coming in, talking some Hillside football, and I'm just waiting for him to chime on in right now. Right now, I'm chilling outside. It's a beautiful day today. Yeah. All right, here we go. His name is Viper31. I'm asking him to join me right now, and we are ready to rock and roll. Here we go. Okay. It was a friend of It was a friend of mine. Hey, here we go. Hey,
What's
what's
good,
going
man?
on, Ant?
What's
As
going
you
on?
can see, I'm chilling outside right now with good old Hillside. Yeah,
Hey, how you doing?
yeah, that's my grandmother in the back right there. Well, then,
How you
now it's my
doing?
friend. I'm doing the interview right now. Yeah. So now you got to get to all the real stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
So
absolutely.
let's take it from the top. Class of 1999, Hillside football,
That's a classic class right there.
classic class. Yeah, man. And you know what? I don't think you guys got all your respect due, because that class was actually good in football and basketball on both sides of the coin for Hillside. Definitely put you
Right.
guys on the map. And let's just go into what was your experience like over there in class of '99?
Well, that's interesting. So I guess football wise, I mean, we pretty much grew together. Like
Right.
we started pretty much eighth grade, and playing, and that was the year Hillside brought back Pop Warner.
Right. That's right.
And
Fun fact.
yeah, fun fact, they ain't had Pop Warner for like probably like 15, 16 years.
Hmm.
So they brought that back, and I mean we were there together. Um, and then once we got to high school. Well, one quick thing. So when we were in eighth grade, I never forget. I know at WOK we always got the little book where the autograph book, everybody
Right.
signed. And I never forget. Coach Hockey, he put something in there. He said, something, Hillside football playoffs 1998, because 99, fall of 98 is our senior year.
Right.
And so at that time, which was like 95, I wasn't thinking nothing of it. I was just like, oh, all right. Didn't even think that was our senior year, but at the time Hillside was struggling to get to the playoffs. Now they had, like we all know, they had good teams, would lose one game and be out of the playoffs.
Right.
So that was kind of interesting. So as we got into everything, freshman year we came in, and the sky was the limit, because we played together the year before that. We came in, and we were out of it. Won our first 5 games. I think we had the best record. We had a better record than varsity, better record than JV, and we were looked at like those guys is gonna do something for the school. So fast forward to our senior year, we make the playoffs, and that's the first time Hillside had made the playoffs since they had won the states, which was I think 84. Yeah, because it was 14 years.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, so from 84 to 98, Hillside hadn't made the playoffs, and that's what made it special. You know what I'm saying? It made it special because we lost in the first round, but to do something like that at that time, it was a big deal. So but we had our bumps. Through the way. Me personally, I was never the one Now let me not say I ain't talk trash, because I talk my but I was never the one that really cared that much about like personal achievements, if that makes sense. You know.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna get into that. Go ahead. Yeah,
So you know, I had my own personal goals, but I wasn't never really the one to, you know, put myself out there and promote. I let everybody else do it for me, if need be.
Right.
I knew what I brought to the table as you know, on the football squad. I knew what my teammates brought to the table. So I felt like it wasn't no need for me to brag, you know, because we were loaded. We were loaded, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, personally, I had my own personal goals that aside from the team goals, which I think most people did, but those never took place of the team goals.
Okay. Now the reason why I say we're gonna do this the right way, and we're gonna big up your accolades and your grind and everything out there on the football field, because when I had a couple months back, when I was doing like the little football joint, DeJuan Williams, one of the greatest I ever seen, he was telling you stories and bigging you up and giving you accolades. And like me, I was a football guy, but I was more focused on basketball.
Right.
But at the same time, he was telling me stories about, yo, and I'm not, no disrespect or anything like that, but Waldo was he did this with me. He was over there with me. He did this with me. He was with me when I scored the touchdown. He was selected to the North-South game. He was selected for this. I'm like, really? Because the only thing that I remember you from high school was like you was very, very passionate about the game of football.
Right,
you know?
right.
And your cousin Ahmed,
yeah.
He also spoke highly. Yo, my cousin, he doing big things at his position that he's playing.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, so I got to check out the game. But I always tried to make it.
Right.
But they said you was the man out there at linebacker.
Yeah. So it's crazy because so I wasn't never like when growing up, I was never like the biggest kid. I wasn't big at all. I was like
right.
I was like a tall, skinny kid. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But it was like when it came to like football, it was just different, you know. And again, I wasn't the smallest kid. So like for instance, for Pop Warner, they had like a weight limit. I never had a problem making the weight. You know, I was always tall, so I was like kind of like out of position. I don't know if you know Coach Schuler.
Yes.
So he was our Pop Warner coach, and he told me this. This was Hillside's second championship when they won a championship at home on the home field a couple years ago. He was like, you know, it was my fault. I had you playing out of position. And when he says that, he was talking about me playing center. I played center, right?
Really?
But I was on the line. So again, I played football. I played basketball for freshman, sophomore, junior year, and I ran track.
Right.
So I was like the skinny, fast kid that had some sort of strength, that didn't really know he had strength, but let's just put him here just to put him here and see what happens. So they put me there in Pop Warner because I was so tall, and I guess they just put me on the line. So I played it, and I just happened to do well at it. And I was like, well, I don't really want to play offense, but to help the team, I'll just do it. So I ended up playing center all through high school, and it was really good. I made all state. I made all county, all everything. And I mean, it was what it was. I made all state. The crazy thing is I made all state at linebacker and at center. And I was in senior year. Most of these kids now that's 14, 15 were bigger than me when I was a senior. But it was guys like it was guys probably, I wouldn't say twice my size, but if I weighed 170, they were 250, 260, and I mean, and had to get them out the way.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I felt like if I can do that at the size that I was, even in high school, then I mean I could do whatever. It's not gonna, you know. And that linebacker, that just came like that was just instinct. And because here's another funny part of it. So I wore glasses, as you know. I wore glasses at
Yeah,
high school.
yeah.
So I didn't get contacts, and I didn't get contacts until basketball, like spring of like my senior year. You know what I'm saying? So when I was playing football, I couldn't see far away. It's not like I was wearing goggles or glasses. I couldn't see far away. So I pretty much everything that was in front of me is what I just had. So the thing is, it was a lot of it was instinct. A lot of it was film study. A lot of it was being coached well. You know what I'm saying? So it's just paying attention to what you see on film and what's in front of you. And ultimately, I did that, and it was games where I had like 20 tackles. It was games where, like homecoming was probably one of the best games I ever played, offensively and defensively. And we lost, but I'll never forget. Dewan had a run. He ran right, then ran left, right off, and I blocked the guy I had to block. So what I normally do is I'm running up field trying to find somebody else. But Dewan was out, so I'm running next to him to the end zone.
Yeah. That's one of the stories he gave up. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was so crazy, and I never forget when we watched film the following week. It was like, and you know, so here's another thing. I don't mind getting like compliments and things like that. But like when you in film, you know, you like to get the compliments and stuff. But it got to the point where it was like every week it was look at Anthony doing X, Y, and Z. Look at and I don't want to like show up my teammates. Those are my guys, you know. But it got to the point it was like a weekly thing, and this was not even defense. This was like offensive stuff.
Right.
You know, defense was defense. It was, you know, I led the team in tackles. I felt like I had to be a leader my senior year our senior year because I felt like I had a lot of pressure on me because junior year I couldn't play. Sophomore year was messing around in school and didn't get the grades I was supposed to get. I think you know how we are. You're not doing what you're supposed to do. And so I ended up going to some school. We had got a new coach, and they found out about my grades, of course. And so I went to summer school. I went to Behringer for summer school. Asked the guidance counselor. Asked everybody, was that okay for me to do that? Had got the okay. Went to summer school. The whole summer I went to summer school. Took the classes over. And so I figured I was good. That junior year, first game I played, I never forget, I had 11 tackles, had all this stuff. We lost, but I was like, I was getting ready to be a starter, and it was gonna be my time. And after the Monday after the game, JV's leaving, and I'm going to practice. Coach Hoppy comes to me and says, "And you gotta come with me." And they told me I couldn't play no more. And they said I was ineligible. They said I was ineligible to play. And they was like, your grades didn't go over. And I said, you gotta be kidding me. And I was damn near in tears. I'm like, yo, this, you know, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, yo, we got an all right team that we could be able to do something. So I couldn't play. So I was at practice every day. Even though I couldn't play, I was at practice every day helping the guys, doing what I could do. Cause I was like, in my head, I'm thinking, if I ain't got football, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, what am I gonna do? So I ended up just going to practice every day. I was still practicing, but I couldn't play in the games.
Yeah.
And that one I was like, so that leading to like senior year, that kind of had me like, yo, I need to get my stuff together, like with my grades. And I made a list. Like, that's my senior year. I said I wanted to make the first thing was I want to win the champion. Go to the playoffs. I wanted to go to the playoffs. Want to win the conference. Want to have 100 tackles. Want to make an all-star game. Want to get a scholarship. Those are all my goals.
All your goals.
All my goals. And each of them, with the exception of the conference, I don't believe we won the conference that year, but we went 6-4 or 7-4, something like that, senior year, and had 100 tackles. made all conference, made all state, made an all-star game, and I got a scholarship. So, I mean, even with me not playing, because a lot of times, what a lot of people don't understand is like junior year is like one of the most important years of a high school kid, because that's when that's when you get in your offers. That's when, you know, you get in your shine. And when I couldn't play junior year, man, that hurt. That, oh my gosh, that hurt. It hurt. So
let me ask you now, who was the coaches at this time? At your senior, I want to say your senior year.
Senior year, we had the same coaches. So the head coach was Westbury. The offensive coordinator was Caputo. Hopkey was the defensive coordinator. And then we still had Coach Zapp. We had Coach Graham. That was mainly, I may be forgetting somebody, but that was the group. And honestly, it was really Hopkey was the head coach and the DC.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at.
And Caputo was the OC. And because like all my high school stuff, I mean all my college things, my visits, Hopkey was the head coach. It was the coach. When we went to the plate in the Snapper Bowl, who was my head coach? It said Jim Hopkey. I mean, it was what it was. I mean, Westbury, to me, I feel like Westbury, he did some things that were good. Like, I feel like Westbury came and we went to camp. We went away for camp. We went to like upstate New York somewhere.
Oh, wow.
Where like it was a bunch of Newark teams there, some New York teams there. And I felt like that like brought us together. We went there junior year and senior year. But I felt like that kind of brought us together, especially senior year. My junior year, my junior year, the team wasn't. We had pieces like, you know, Corey Gaines, Gerard Bishop, Lamar Jackson. I believe Lamar Jackson was there. So there were pieces there, but for whatever reason, and honestly, that's one of the best football players I've ever seen. Like, no one could block him. No one. But I think that with the coaching change at that time and the different type of culture, it was like you go from Sellers, who everybody respected, and we was expecting to have as our head coach, to he got another position. He moved up and did what he had to do, but to go from all the way up here to somebody that, with all due respect,
hold up,
he wasn't really that successful as a head coach prior to coming to Hillside. You know what I'm saying? So, but he was stern, but it was a difference from when you have Sellers, who was like, you know, he's gonna coach you hard, he's gonna be in your ass, but you know he loved you at the end of the day.
Right, he's a coach's coach, man. I mean, like, you would love to be coached by him, man.
And it's like you don't want to get on his bad side, but yeah, you don't
you know how that's gonna go.
Whether it's football or basketball, you don't want to get on Sal's bad side, but you know he's gonna coach you up and he's gonna try and get the best out of you he can. And I got a funny story with Sal. This was our sophomore year. This was his last year there. Ralphie, remember Ralphie? Rest in peace to Ralphie.
Yeah, rest in peace, Ralph. Man.
Yeah, he was playing center, and again, I'm still, even sophomore year, I'm still trying to make a name for myself, trying to play more on the varsity level, which I felt like I should have been playing more, but it is what it is. I knew that at my size, it'd be looked at as whatever, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I was a skinny kid, and so we was on the scout team, and I was destroying Ralphie. I would hit him with a swim move, because again, Ralphie was kind of short, so I would hit him with it, and I felt like I just seen it on TV. So I hit him with a swim move, and I'd be in the backfield, and I just kept on doing it, and it was pissing Ralphie off. But Sel was like, it didn't give me more playing time, but he was like, you gonna let this little kid do this to you, blah blah blah. And there was one time I tried to swim Ralphie, and he hit me with a boom right in my ribs and drove me. And I was like, all right, I'm a chill. And that's when I stop being a practice All-American. That was the moment I learned stop being a practice All-American. But yeah, so I think that junior year with Ralph, I mean not with Ralph, but with Sel, I mean with Westbury, going from Sells to Westbury, it was an adjustment.
Yeah.
And you went from that sophomore year, I think we won 6 games or something like that, to winning 3 the following year. Now, don't tell anybody. I think that it was because I didn't play, we only won 3 games. But you know, I'm just joking. But we had a good team that year. It just didn't come together, and it just so happens that the following year it really came together.
Well, now who exactly was on that team? Now I'm gonna drop a couple names on you because I was gone your senior year. I was gone.
Yeah.
I want to say Corey Robinson,
Dewan
Wings.
Yep.
Who else was on? Cornell Granberry.
Cornell Granberry was there. Curtis Cooper, me, Saeed.
Curtis Cooper. Yeah. Cooper.
Tyree was on there.
Tyree Mayo.
Poochie, Oscar. Yeah, he was.
Really?
Yeah, he played linebacker right next to me.
Wow.
Yeah. He was there. And then we had some Anthony DeGaines. He was younger. He was a sophomore, but he played a lot. Troy Bishop was a sophomore.
Was he the quarterback?
Huh?
Was he the quarterback? I believe he was the
quarterback. He was the backup quarterback.
Wineglass and Rib Tips.
Wineglass, yep. Henry Rib Tips. Christoph.
That's another one. Yeah.
Christoph. Ferrix was on the team. We had a lot of guys, like, believe it or not.
A lot of big guys.
Yeah, we had
a lot of big guys.
Yeah, so we had a lot of guys that played college ball. We had a lot of guys that played semi-pro, arena. I mean, we had a good core, and like those seniors, because I want to say it was only like 8 or 9 seniors, I believe. But again, for the most part, with the exception of Saif, who came like that year, he was a transfer. With the exception of him, and me and Saif actually were teammates. I mean, we were classmates, and we lived in Irvington together.
Yeah, okay.
And so, but he transferred over senior year. But with the exception of Saif, we 5 years. That is 5 years straight. 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade. 11th, we was all balling together. So it was only right. It was only right that we made a playoff run. And it's good to see, like, the following year they struggled. And I get it. Again, that was another coaching change. Yeah, it was Hopke. Hopke was the head coach, but it was an adjustment period because you had to, like, almost change the culture. And you lost a core that had been playing together for a long time. And it was like a lot of big personalities.
Right.
It was,
definitely.
You know, when you got somebody like, I forgot Eugene. Eugene was on that team, but he was a junior.
Oh wow, yeah. Eugene Vick, right?
Yeah. And so we had a lot of guys like that under us, like those sophomores. They were in the States 2 years later. So their first year getting their feet wet on varsity, they make the playoffs. Then you got your junior year, it's a little fall off, but then you go to the playoffs and damn near win the States 2 years later. So I mean, those guys, I'm not saying that they got it from us, but they did. I mean, they learned a lot and learned how to win, and because they were playing early. So those guys that were sophomores when we were seniors, they had a squad. So it was good. It was fun, but you had your ups and downs, like any high school kid. So
it's like I say, man. It's like y'all class was I always had to come back and see Pop Warner with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys came up, did your thing. Like I seen the growth, and I seen it coming. Just like I told Juwan, I said I seen it coming, whether it was basketball or football. But that football Pop Warner, y'all had it more jumping than our class and the class before.
Right.
With cause everybody was coming to them Pop Warner games, man.
Yeah.
It was that.
And they were at the home field.
Yeah. That's when you know you had something very, very special.
Yeah.
And you guys were just like, and all I could remember, and even with Dewan and the other guy that I had, Dewan, and Corey, I believe it was, and Cornell. You guys are the core team. The core of that year for that team.
I mean, well, Jamil was probably Christoph and Jamil were the two guys that everybody came to see. So it's a thing that a lot of coaches do. You know, you kind of put your biggest guys in the front, right?
Yeah.
And Jamil and Christoph were always in the front. They're always in the front. Always in the front. And it's why not? Those are like two of the biggest guys on the team, two of the most talented guys on the team. And I loved it, man. I wish we could go back. I wish we could go back if we could find a way to get what they have now, like with the training and putting in all the work that like year-round football.
Yeah.
It was different with us because most of us played multiple sports. If you know, I played 3 sports. I know Dewan played 2 for a little bit. Jamil played 2 sports. Christoph played 2 sports. So you had a lot of guys that played baseball. You know what I'm saying? So it's like whether they ran track, whether they played. So you had a lot of guys on the football team that just did multiple things. You know, so it was, man. But if we could just focus just on football, we definitely would have won the states.
Yeah,
we definitely would have won the states.
Now, Christoph and Jamil, they was in your class too, right? They were.
Yeah, we all came in together. Yep.
Yeah, cause I remember, cause that's that Pop Warner that were, oh my God, you guys were coming. Cause I'm gonna tell you something real quickly. Coach, I believe it was Coach Sellers or Coach Graham, one of the two of them. Actually, I remember vaguely them recruiting and actually working out with Christoph and Jamil. That was those are 2 names, the 2 guys that I shouldn't even forgotten, and they need to be up here as well along with you and Dewan.
Yeah,
because those guys they were working it out, man. And as 8th graders coming up into the high school, we like, yo.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think, you got an 8th grader, you got this big Polish kid, who was like 6'5" and 230, and you got you got Jamil who's probably 6'4" and like 2 something, you know. So I mean, why not? You take them horses and do what you're supposed to.
Let
do.
them run wild.
Yep. And so like even when like. One thing I do like about our class was that it wasn't really like a lot of jealousy or things of that nature. So it was like freshman year, you had somebody like Christoph and Jamil. I think, and I want to say Dewan, maybe Dewan too. I can't remember, but they were, you know, I know definitely Christoph and Jamil. They were on varsity. Like they may not have played a lot, but they were there. And you didn't see no guys like, man. I can't believe they moved them up. Even sophomore year, you know, Jamil was getting his feet wet. Christoph was. We all knew what we brought to the table. We knew that we may not be here right now, but our time is gonna come. Right. And we're gonna get our shot. And unfortunately, we didn't win the states. That's the biggest. It's like, man, we went to the playoffs, and that team that we played, Appoquinnock, you know, they had a ton of seniors, but and they had a lot of playoff experience. We didn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, what I really is, I wish we would have spoke up as seniors, spoke up a lot more because, and when it came to that playoff game, because what happened was Westbury, who honestly didn't really do that much coaching throughout the year, decided, oh, we got to the playoffs, I'm gonna be super coach, and pretty much took out everybody that was on kickoff, which was a lot of juniors and seniors and guys that played defense already, and took them out, put a bunch of like sophomores and guys that didn't really play on kickoff, switched everything up. They ran the opening kickoff back. And that set the tone. And it was packed. It was packed. And at that point, again, we had a lot of young guys. But that just took everything out of us, and it wasn't no way for us to get it back. So I wish that we could find a way to get that part back, because I think if we play that game over, we win. But you know, that's just the competitive spirit or whatever, but yeah.
And it's like I say, man, whether it's basketball or football, Coach Sellers and the coaching staff up at Hillside High brought you in, even if you was beefing or even if you did have a problem, that stuff stopped. It became a brotherhood. You
Yep.
cheered on your teammates.
Yep.
It really got you looking at sports in another direction.
Yep.
And I thank those gentlemen for doing that to us and for us.
Right.
But I want to get into you. Where'd you go to school? Where'd you end up going?
I went to Virginia State.
Okay. And that's where you heard that. That's where you played. You played all 4 years, or how that worked?
I played 2 years. I hurt my knee. Then I could have went back, but it wasn't that I lost like the passion. It was a lot going on personally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So I was just like, I need to focus on other things, and it is what it is. At that time, I thought that I wouldn't play football again.
Yeah.
But I ended up after I graduated later on. After I graduated, why are you showing me your grass, man?
My fault, man. My fault.
Oh no, you good.
I messed up with the camera. Hold up. Oh man, hold up. Okay, I got you. My fault.
After, I mean, that's some good grass too, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
But I ended up after grad school, I went and I was playing semi-pro. I was playing semi-pro down in Virginia, and I started later than a lot of guys. A lot of guys played well after me. I played semi-pro, and once I was playing semi-pro, I started playing arena. So I played arena for a couple years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I played arena. And arena was cool. Outdoor football is way more fun for me. In my personal opinion, outdoor football is just more fun. Arena did grant me the opportunity to travel. So I got to travel to Chicago, Green Bay. Got to go through see Lambeau Field.
That had been an experience.
So we played in that game. We played in Wisconsin, in Green Bay. We played at the University of Wisconsin Green Bay, and that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool getting to travel like that and things of that nature. But ultimately, I ended up getting to play football again. Won championships in semi-pro, and now I'm coaching. I coach high school, and that's I love it, man. So I still get to coach the kids up, and I take what I've learned from pretty much every coach I've ever had, whether it was Shula,
me too.
whether it's Coach
Me
Keith,
too.
whether it's Hoppy, Graham, coaches out here like Coach Anderson that I had who recruited me from Virginia State, all of the coaches. There's always something that I've taken from all of them, whether they were good coaches or bad coaches. Because if they were bad coaches, this is what I'm not gonna do.
Yeah, exactly.
so I just have been a sponge. I think that's how I've been since I was a kid. I've always listened to my coaches, ask questions and things of that nature, and just pretty much learned the game. And I feel like I tell coaches now, jokingly, but halfway serious, like, I don't think you can outcoach me. Just being competitive, and I mean, and it's not a cocky type thing. Mm-hmm. It's just a confident type thing. Just I felt like I've learned from some great coaches and teammates. Learned from some great coaches and teammates. So it's like, hey,
but you know what too? And the funny thing about that, I do the same thing because I coach basketball. Mm-hmm. I sometimes I'm at the point now where I walk in the gym and they're like, okay, well, this is a championship game. I wonder which one of us coming in second place.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just the confidence that I have. But you gotta have fun with it. And oh man. But I want you to plug your show. I want you to let everybody know what's going on with the show as well.
I didn't even get to that part. So I have a show that comes on Wednesdays called Off the Record. It is a sports talk show that we talk sports for the most part. It's a sports based show, but especially like in these climates that we're in right now, we talk some real stuff as well. You know, and that we do that Wednesdays from 7 to 8:30, depends. But you know, on my on YouTube, on bliss.fm, that's BLIS.FM / off the record. Let's see, IG is the Off the Record show. YouTube is youtube.com/C/ off the record show. And then Facebook is Off the Record. But you, if you follow me on Facebook, then you'll see all the shows and the links and things of that nature. But we just like when it comes to that show, I honestly I have a co-host who went to school with me. His name's Scotty. We compete even in the show, you know.
Oh yeah, I see the couple.
Yeah, we go at it, but it's fun. It's serious. You know, we take it serious. In May we did a roundtable. It was Off the Record presents the roundtable. It was right after the George Floyd situation, and I felt like it needed to be said. It was, you know, and I had 5 other people on there, and I believe I'm gonna repost it, but I believe we're gonna do a part 2 to that roundtable, and then we're gonna have other roundtables later on this year with talking about voting, the voter suppression,
right.
And just different things that need to be brought to light. And yes, we have our platform where it's sports, but then you know there's life outside of sports where people, you know, you kind of like, you don't want to be narrow-minded and think it's sports. I even tell that with my kids. It's like, yeah, like my daughter is, you know, she's going on her junior year, and she started varsity since her freshman year. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, and she gets great grades. Don't get me wrong, she was in National Honor Society in middle school, and she's made honor roll, you know, and then her sister, you know, it's just, so I don't want them going, like, not necessarily my path. I want them to create their own lane, but when it comes to like school and like the books, I stay on them a little harder than maybe my parents were on me, even though they were tough on me. But I kind of, because I don't want them to go through that, not being able to play your junior year because of your grades. You know what I'm saying? And even the kids I coach now, I let them know, look, don't be that guy, because I felt like I let my team down. And I was like, don't let your team down by not being available because of your grades. If you're hurt, that's different. If it's something else, all right, cool. But don't be that guy that lets your team down. Because honestly, at the end of the day, it's selfish and it's lazy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's lazy. And I mean, unfortunately, I wasn't able to play that year. But I can use that to teach. I use that as a teaching tool, and it helps. But yeah, man. So those that's the show. You know, Off the Record. That's like my baby right here. That I make sure, you know, that's helped me cover so many different sports. CIAA, the conference where I played in. You know, I've covered the basketball tournament. I've covered the football championship. I've covered my school. Among other schools, covered WNBA last year. I was helping cover the Mystics, covered a couple of games. The Wizards G League team, the Capital City Go-Go.
Yeah.
Covered them. They had arena team, the Washington Valor.
Yeah, I didn't watch too much of that, but I know.
Yeah, but those games were interesting. So it just created, you know, the show Off the Record has created a lane that I've always wanted to be in. I've always wanted to have a platform where I could always talk sports, where I can, if I have something that I need to get off my chest, I have a platform that I can use to express myself. You know, I don't always have to, because I'm not the type of person that always types on Facebook about my business.
Yeah.
I just that ain't what I do. But when it comes to having my opinion, whether it's with sports, whether it's with Trump, whether it's with yeah. So I mean, and I have a platform every Wednesday that I can share my information with. So or share my thoughts with. So that's
Well, that's what's up, man. As you can see, I did this show outside this evening because it felt good, and
right.
I know when the light come on, it's time to go. But nah, this is good. And when I repost this, is what's gonna go on all my avenues and channels.
Right.
And I'm gonna speak to you after that to maybe hook something up with you because I got some things going on in the bag too.
Yeah, man, definitely, man. We're gonna have you on the show. We'll find a way to set that up. We'll find a way to set that up. Also, one more thing. I am off the record. We are gonna have so we're gonna figure out a way for this summer. Not really sure how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna do a book bag drive. So because I know a lot of people are gonna be virtual, so it's gonna be a little different, with everything going on. But we're also gonna have, and is in the works right now. So everybody look out for the Off the Record Scholarship Fund. And and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off small, but every little bit helps. So we're gonna have $1,000. So it's gonna be $500 apiece to two students, and help them, whether it's with their books, whether it's with the rest of their tuition. $500 may not seem like a lot, but for a college student, it's a ton. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That could be honestly, that could be your books for your first 2 semesters that you don't have. Right. That's one less thing you have to worry about. And so we're working on is the qualifications. Right now I started it at 1,000, but depending on how we set everything up, it may go higher. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm saying 1,000 because I'm talking about me. I hadn't raised a dime yet for that. So when we start raising money for that, then I mean, Lord willing, we can help a whole senior class if we have to, pay for their books or whatever. And that's why we're here. That's why we're here to help people, to make sure that, give people something to listen to, something to laugh about or whatever. And so that scholarship fund should be out to the public within the next 2 to 3 months. I just want to I personally want to make sure everything is good, every box is checked, and it's and it's right. So we're gonna make sure these kids is taken care of, man.
Yo, that's all we can do, man.
Absolutely.
Hey, Brother Anthony, I definitely appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Finally made it. Finally got up on here.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, I gave you your flowers, showed you that love. I'm definitely about to holler at you in like the next 5 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
I'm gonna wrap this up, chop this up, put it out. And yo, this is Class of '99's Anthony Adebyo.
Absolutely. Thank you.
No doubt. Peace.
Peace.